And recording.
Good morning, Toonkind. Welcome to a 12 FPS. Hooray! My name is Whis. I'm going to be playing Chifley Ford today. And I am joined by my very good buddy.
Hello, I am Inky, and today I will be playing M1A, the Little UFO. I think I should preempt this by saying we are both very tired, but we are going to do our best today.
Yeah, we'll fake it till we make it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chifley has kind of been in a little bit of a routine lately, dropping Missy off at school, going to work. He has taken to having his lunch break outside because it's warm, it's sunny, it's lovely. Why would you sit
Yeah.
inside in the break room, which is never in the same place twice in the first place, when you could go out the front door and sit in the sunshine?
Is that convoluted in the EC?
Oh yes, the ECCR, the Anquo Continental Color Registry, is quirky. And
Yeah.
it likes to move the rooms around. They're fun like that.
Yeah.
But Chifley has decided he's going to enjoy the sunshine, and so he has taken to having his lunch breaks outside.
Nice.
And sometimes he brings his lunch, sometimes he will buy one from the sandwich shop down the road, which is what he has decided to do today. So he's purchased a sandwich, and is now sitting down, eating his sandwich.
Nice. Does he have anything else on him
He
right now?
He does. So in one of his recent escapades, he acquired through the power of the plot device, or a mobile phone, or a cell phone for people who are in the North American area. And think of it as like that old style brick of a Nokia phone. It's like that. And it doesn't have a lot of features. It can make phone calls.
Yeah.
But it also beeps in a really pleasant way. And
Yeah.
so he's taken to, when he really feels like, putting a little bit of, doing something a little bit musical, but doesn't really feel like playing his lyre. Because if anyone doesn't know, a lyre is like a tiny harp, and it's a pain in the butt. It's like, okay, I have to tune it, I have to make sure it works. It's too much effort. He'll just pull out his phone and just sort of make little tiny tunes with the beep noises of the keys. And like, I mean, you've only got like 10 of them, so that's not even a whole octave.
Yeah.
But it's better than a poke in the eye with a blunt stick. So that's what he's doing at the moment. He's sitting on a park bench with a sandwich in one hand and his phone in the other, and he's just sort of pressing buttons with his thumb, going beep, 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 beep.
Oh. Okay, well, now how do I do this? Going to roll. Okay. So hey, Chifley, you feel a presence right behind your head.
Yeah, with a 9, I mean, Chifley's passive perception is 15, so there's no way he's going to miss that. So I just feel like he's just sort of taken a bite and then beep, 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 and then just sort of stops and then turns to look over his shoulder.
You meet eyes with this little floating UFO and a pair of wide yellow eyes. And hang on one sec. Uh, they hide under the bench.
Okay. So when
You clearly see them
yeah,
hide under the
when
bench.
Chifley turns around and sees this basically a floating black orb, as far as he's concerned, in his direct vision with big yellow eyes.
Yeah.
If I were playing serious D&D, I'd do something like a Whis save to see whether or not he gets startled by this. But these are cartoons, so I'm just
Yeah.
not going to bother with that. And he's sort of going to do a little bit of a and I don't know if it's actually like a take, like a spit take or a toss take or
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
the phone and the sandwich are going to both go, huh! And then he's going to follow this little UFO under the bench he's sitting on, as both phone and sandwich plummet to the to the pavement.
Alrighty. I'm going to. What would
Mm,
be good for that? Sleight of hand or
if you wanted to catch it, I'd probably do just a dex.
just the plain dex? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, M1A misses. Well, M1A was intending to catch that falling gadget that made noises, but misses entirely, and it clatters onto the concrete.
Oh boy. So there's a clatter, clatter, clatter as the phone, which, as it's based on a Nokia, is fine.
It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Clatter, clatter, clatter goes the phone, and the sandwich just goes, and Chifley just sort of looks at both of them and goes, well, that's on the floor now. Okay. And then he's just going to shuffle over a little bit and lean to look like not all the way under, but just enough to sort of see what everyone's doing. It's like, hello, can I help you?
M1A kind of glances up at Chifley and then back down to the phone, and then back up at Chifley, and they very kind of quietly say, "Hello, I am M1A Alpha Sentry class."
Oh, uh, hello. It's nice to meet you. My name is Chifley.
And,
Why don't you come
and
out from under there?
no, thank you. And M1A suddenly goes, "Chifley, what is your function?"
My function. Do do you mean my job?
They think on this a bit, and they kind of slowly nod.
Well, I work at the ECCR. Do do you know what that is?
And Monet kind of thinks a bit, and then they shake their head and say, "Chifley ECCR worker."
Well, you're
Sorry,
not
Chifley, that's your formal name now.
you're not wrong. I'm kind of a nurse, I suppose. And he's
Chifley nurse. That's easier to say.
okay. He's like, right. And he's gonna just sort of get up from the bench to pick his phone up, and he's just gonna look very forlornly at his sandwich. It's like, I'm not hungry enough to eat food off the ground. So he's gonna pick it up, but he's gonna just put it in the garbage bin that's just next to the bench before sitting back down and sigh.
And when a now will slowly kind of come out from under their cover, and they've figured out his function. So this is okay.
Does anyone even know what a nurse is?
I don't think they do, but it doesn't sound scary. um, so they they kind of want to ask what a nurse is, but they are just kind of hovering closer and closer to the phone. Query, what is this?
Chifley's gonna sort of glance between M1A and the phone in his hand a few times. Oh, this is a phone.
And when A reaches over to press one of the buttons,
Beep.
they flinch. That's a loud beep.
It's not gonna hurt you. It's just a phone.
It is a machine.
I think so.
Uh, they press a different button.
Beep,
They press the other button again.
beep,
They go back to the other button.
beep,
And
beep, 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 beep.
basically, um, uh, Chifley, make an insight check.
Sure, that's something that Chif can do. God, it's been a little while since I played him. What is it? Yep, okay. 17.
M1A is not what's the word? M1A is absolutely fascinated, and you can tell it's not quite because of the mechanic nature. They seem surprised that it makes these different noises.
Mm-hmm.
And they're now like trying to make like they kind of go beep 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 beep.
Chifley just sort of gives us a small chuckle at that. I take it you like the sound the buttons make.
And they kind of shake themselves out of their like I guess beef induced stupor and look up at Chifley and say, "What are these sounds?"
Oh, well, in this particular case, I think it's just a different sound for each button. I don't think they're supposed to be for anything. This is for making, like, contacting people. That's what the phone is, but this one just happens to beep when you push the buttons. And he's going to just sort of hold the screen up a little bit and push another button, and you can actually see on the screen when he pushes the button, like a number shows up.
Oh yeah. I'm actually wondering if there's like a big chain of like numbers that have been
Oh,
entered in
oh,
just
heck yeah.
because.
Well, because Chifley was playing with it before, so yeah, there's just numbers all over the screen. Like, it only has so much space, but when you push another one, it just sort of starts again at the beginning and starts filling them out again.
Yeah.
But no,
I want a.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. He was just kind of gonna go.
But M1A kind of they recognize that those are numbers and just kind of like they try and they look at the other buttons and I think after seeing that big string of numbers they press the call button.
Oh, yay. So I think it's gonna do a little bit of a beep 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 beep.
M1A says that is a new sound.
And Chifley's just gonna reach over and press the end call button. Like, I don't know if there would be anybody at a number like that, but I don't really want to explain to them what's going on if there is. I tend to not use the green button unless I want to talk to the person on the other end of that number.
And M1A kind of thinks a little bit and says, signal. You are sending a signal?"
There is a bit of a dull blink from Chifley. Maybe? I don't know how it works. I
And M1A
had assumed it was like message, maybe, but
actually I'm gonna roll intelligence really quickly because oh wow.
hey,
Hey, this is not unlike something that they've seen before.
Hmm.
it sends and receives messages. There and they point to their antennae and say, "Signal, receive message, signal, send message."
Hmm. Well, that does sound like what it does.
You can contact others.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. If I know the number for their equivalent.
And M1A looks at the phone and recognizes a couple of symbols. Uh, and they wonder, and they kind of peer closely and say, "Contact friends."
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a lot faster than writing a letter.
uh, sorry, I'm doing something really quickly. And with alarming precision, they are going to type this out on the phone.
Okay. Okay. Chifley's just gonna sort of let them do that and then look at it and then tilt his head to one side. It's like it's not doesn't look like any of the phone numbers he knows.
And then they press call.
Boop 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 boop.
And honestly, I don't I don't believe anything happens beyond like ringing out or a voice coming through saying, "The number you have dialed is not available."
Yeah, the number you have called has been disconnected. Please hang up and try again.
Yeah. Yeah. And M1A kind of sags a little at this and says this machine is broken.
I don't. I don't know that it's broken. The number might not exactly be what it's used to. Was that the number of someone you know?
And M1A kind of tilts their head and says, "Yes."
Well, the numbers I'm used to look more like this. And he just punches in his own phone number so that it shows up on the screen. And I'm not going to decide
Yeah,
what
yeah, no,
kind it
no,
is, but
no,
just put his
yeah,
number in there. And
yeah.
the numbers that this works with look like more like this.
And M1A kind of stares at it and kind of goes, "There are much less ones and zeros."
Well, there are 10 numbers that this thing can take, so.
M1A kind of nods and then just kind of feeling a little bit downtrodden that their plan didn't quite work. They do beep, beep, beep.
Oh. I'm just gonna have Chifley roll another insight real quick. Wow,
Oh.
okay. I'll just roll in that one. Why not? Okay, fine. Great. Okay, so I mean, everyone's quite obviously a little dejected, but he
Yeah.
doesn't get any nuance today, apparently.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna look over at this poor little UFO. Okay, is it someone you were really hoping to talk to?
And then 1A suddenly startles out of their state and they go, "No, no, no one important. No one important." Uh, um, and they will kind of zip around a little bit and say, How do you make more noises?"
Oh, you mean like the noises the buttons make?
Yes.
Um, when you press more buttons, or there are plenty of other ways. Here. And he's going to reach into his hammer space.
Oh.
There's not a one.
Hey.
He's going to pull out a children's plastic recorder.
Oh my God.
And I don't have one in my house, otherwise I would get
uh,
it.
I do, but it's covered in dust. I don't want to play it and get, well, I
So,
don't even know if it would register on the
yeah, who knows?
microphone. Yeah.
Who knows? So we just have to use our imaginations. But he pulls out this recorder and he just sort of fiddles with it a little bit and he goes, we have lots of things that make different noises. And he just sort of blows into it and goes, doot, 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 a little bit.
Uh, Hang on, I'm gonna. um, so that was a wisdom save. M1A is just going to snatch the recorder and stare really intensely at it.
Oh boy.
How is it doing this? What is this? What are you? How did I thought? What is?
It's called a recorder. It's a wind instrument. You have to blow air into the top.
M1A.
He's
You,
giving him one a little bit of a look. It's like, wait, you don't have a mouth that I can see.
M1A like clinks the breathing end against their helmet.
Oh boy. That won't work. Okay. You could try the lyre, but
Recorder, instrument. What is
they're for making music.
music?
I'm gonna
And
reach into his hammer space again. That is also not a one.
A,
He's gonna pull out his lyre.
A.
You should be able to play this one. You have fingers, so. And he's just gonna pluck one and goes ding. It's not really a ding noise, but a harp.
Yeah,
Harp sort of noise. I can't make that noise with my mouth.
Bling.
Bling.
M1A kind of tentatively reaches forward and plucks one of the lyre strings. Like bing.
Just be gentle.
M1A looks up and takes it on board and is very gentle, and you hear like maybe a scratching noise as they just barely graze the string of the lyre.
Not that gentle.
M1A kind of, okay, let's try this again, M1A. And they try again. And it's bling.
Chifley gives a smile and a nod. Well done. That's exactly right.
M1A kind of looks up and says, "You call this music?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And M1A kind of plucks at a couple more strings, and the recorder is forgotten on the bench beside you. I'm sorry. And they go, do does everybody do this?
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no?
Not everyone can play instruments like the recorder or the lyre. But there is music everywhere. Not everyone can hear it, though.
Roll insight.
Sure.
Oh,
18!
very good. Um, M1A suddenly looks both amazed and kind of sad or distant.
Hmm.
They're a bit this knowledge is kind of pulling them in two directions, you think.
Hmm.
Looks like they're trying to get excited, but it feels like something is stopping them.
Do you not have music where you're from? I'm assuming you're not from here. You're very curious in your appearance.
M1A kind of clams up a little. They resume they've been in their arms mode for now. They've kind of now retreated back into their UFO form and they say classified. But then they kind of uh look around and say, I have heard music. I cannot, but I did not hear the music when I was being made.
Hmm. Well, I suppose then you should be grateful that you can hear it now.
And M1A shakes their head and they say, I cannot hear the music, not like, not like they do.
They?
And M1A kind of like makes a face. Um, and I'm gonna roll a D2, one sec. No, they kind of go classified, old, old data, not relevant now.
Hmm.
But then they kind of look up and say, you can all play music and hear it here.
If you learn how.
And when I tilt their head and they say, even if you are not built for it.
Even then.
And M1A is kind of drifting back and forth a little bit, and they reach out with one arm and pluck the lyre again and say, were you built for it? Is this your function?
You may want to roll an insight on
Yeah.
Chifley.
Insight. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's
That is a
they,
7.
that's a 7. They got
Oh,
no
oh boy. Like I think everyone can see Chifley's face sort of twitch slightly at the question.
Oh,
But that's about it.
yeah.
He sort of looks down slightly before looking back up at them. I'm not a tune built. I was born. It's a little different.
And M1A tilts their head say, and they say, that is query born?
It's the result is the same as being built, but it's slightly different. Not not made to a design as such.
And M1A kind of looks at looks at the lyre and says, I was built to be sentry. That is my role.
And he kind of nods at that. I was born to be a leader and a teacher. And
And oh, sorry, you go.
he's just going to sort of hesitate a little bit. And then, but I am neither of those things now.
Um, and one stops plucking the lyre and says very quietly, why not?
He draws in a deep breath really slowly, and then there was something I was meant to do, to be able to lead and do teach, and it was taken from me. So
Oh,
I found something new to do.
and when a uh roll insight.
Sure. 15.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's the threshold would be pretty low in this case. M1A looks visibly upset.
Oh,
And
Whis.
they look visibly like distant and they say, I but it can come back, right? You can get it back, right? Is that not what you were born for?
It's complicated. I don't know if I could get it back, and it's been so long. I don't know if I even want it back.
And M1A looks up at you, kind of confused, and I'm gonna make them roll insight.
Mm-hmm. 12.
I think with a 12, can they at least pick up that he might be upset about this?
Oh yeah, with a 12, he's it was a long time ago. He's definitely not lying, and everyone can tell.
Hmm.
But it's it's a little unclear just based on his tone of voice and his expression whether or not he is being honest when he says he's not sure if he wants it back. You think there might be something more to
Hmm.
that?
Yeah, yeah. And 1A is now looking around a bit cautiously, and they say, did I say something wrong?
No. You are quite obviously quite curious, and remind me of my sister. She asks lots of questions too. Not all questions have nice answers or answers that I feel like telling. And we've only just met, so.
And 1A kind of nods a bit, like, well, understandable.
Mm,
There, I have, I do not want people to ask me everything either.
mm.
Um,
I wouldn't worry, M1A. I'm not upset.
you are not?
No. You meant no harm. So, I'm not upset.
M1A is going to look at the lyre and they gently pluck at it again. They go pling, 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 and they say, I am not good at much else than being sentry. I do not know what else I can do.
Have you ever tried anything else?
And M1A looks up and says, I do not know if I am supposed to.
Well, you don't have to take my advice, but who's going to stop you?
And M1A kind of uh should I make you roll insight for this?
I can. Happy to.
Yeah, yeah. Do an insight.
17.
Oh. Um, they look like they look very uncertain, and they also they look very uncertain, but they say, I I think something would. Yes. Yeah. Something would.
Is that something
And
that you know will happen or that you're afraid will happen?
they look up at you and say, it is something that should happen.
But what if it doesn't?
And M1A looks down and says, I don't know.
You are very curious, but it seems as though you're quite fearful as well.
I and they kind of puff up a little bit and they say, I am not fearful. I am sentry. I am brave. I I I keep everyone in line. I am the eyes of the great machine.
Chifley arches
I
a brow at that remark. It doesn't mean anything to him, but he's like, okay.
and they kind of like falter a little bit because of how confused he looks. They say, I do not want to be anything else, but I I do want to know how. I do want to know if it is possible to do things you were not built for.
I don't know you very well yet, but I can't see any reason why you couldn't. And if you like being a sentry, M1A, you don't have to give that up. But you
And
can be more than one thing at a time.
I have only ever been one thing.
Then you just have room to grow.
And M1 kind of they look uncertain at this, but they kind of give a hesitant nod, and they're taking this on board, but you get the feeling that they, judging by your insight before, they still look very uncertain and a little sad.
Do you want to roll an insight on Chifley?
Yeah, come on,
Come
come
on,
on,
dice passer, be kind.
be kind. Oh wow,
Hey!
very kind,
Very
very
kind.
generous.
That's a 19. Very good. Okay, so when anyone looks back over at Chifley, there is this sort of feeling about him, not just his expression, but his whole sort of self, that he has noticed M1A's hesitation and the way that they are feeling, and he just wants to help and encourage. And what he said earlier about being a teacher, you're getting this teacher vibe somehow from
Oh,
him. And he just gives M1 this really kind smile. And he says, well, would you want to learn how to play some music? It won't
and,
change you, but it will be more knowledge for you. What do you think?
and M1A takes this into consideration. They say, current mission classified. What does this have to do with the current mission? And they're thinking and they're thinking. And then they say, if I do this, then they could, and that would, yes, yes. And they've lined up their reasoning and they go, yes, yes, if I my mission requires it. Yes.
Oh, it's been justified. Cool.
They're
Oh,
very
fantastic.
good. They're very good at doing this to themselves.
Oh, bless. Oh dear. It's just Chifley's just going to, his smile is going to grow and be really, like, not scary enthusiastic, but a bit more enthusiastic. And he's just going
Oh.
to, well, I don't have time to give you a full lesson today, but hold on. You can read common, yes? You have no problem with the numbers on the phone. You can read, right?
They they can read common. It takes them a while to they usually can read numbers, but they can read general common.
Cool. All right, that is not a one. So he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a notebook and you know with a little pen that sort of clips in,
Oh,
and he writes down his address and pulls the
oh my
page out
gosh.
and hands it to M1A, and he says, "This is the address where I live. You are welcome to come by whenever you like, and we can go and look at different instruments of what might suit you. Possibly a keyboard or something like that, maybe. And I can teach you."
I can't hear me, but I made a high-pitched noise. Um, and M1A takes it and says, a map. It's not a map,
not
but
not quite, but you'll be able to
but
find it on a map.
they nod and they fold it and they place it into their hammer space.
Mm-hmm. Chifley's just going to sort of smile at that.
And they say, Chifley teacher. Chifley teacher.
Oh, do you want to roll an insight?
Come on. Come on, M1A. Oh, that's decent.
14. That's still going to do it. For all his saying that he wasn't sure if he wanted it back before, being called Chifley teacher just sort of made him glow a little bit. Like, not
Oh,
literally, but he's just sort of
yeah,
gone,
yeah.
ah!
Yeah.
That made him really happy, and
Oh
he
my
was not
God.
expecting it to.
Oh.
Oh dear, oh dear. So he's not going to object to this new title from M1A. Oh my goodness.
Um, and M1A will look up at him and say, how many music maker is there?
You mean the instruments?
Instruments. There are musical instruments.
Yes.
They're used to the machine instruments, not the.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There are many different kinds. We can go to an instrument store and I can show you all sorts of different ones if you like. The recorder is, and similar ones probably won't suit you, but there are many others you could try.
M1A is kind of they're they look a little bit enthralled by the idea and they're nodding. They're nodding.
Mm.
Their antennae are kind of bouncing with the motion.
Nah. I'm sure we can find one that suits your theme.
And they tilt their head and say, "Me?"
He just smiles. He's decided he's not going to elaborate.
Oh. And M1A is going to look at the lyre again, and they say, "Is this your theme?"
No, not quite. This instrument is sentimental.
Very sentimental.
Hmm. It means that it means a lot to me. It has value, but not monetary value.
And M1A gives a big nod because they understand. That they understand very well.
Hmm. I
And
can always tell you more about it some other day, if you like.
I would. I can it it is relevant to my mission. Yes.
I hold him so dang soft. Oh my god. Ha! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think at this point Chifley's going to sort of stand up and he's going to put the lyre and the recorder back into his hammer space. And glance over at the garbage where he had put his sandwich after it dropped on the ground. It's like, I am going to get something else to eat before I have to go back to work.
And
You're welcome to come and find us. I can introduce you to my sister in the evenings after the sun has gone down.
M1A suddenly perks up and says, you and then they remember you need food to function.
Yes, mine
And
was ruined.
and M1A hang on.
If anyone's got food from Marcel in their hammer space and is giving it to Chifley, I'm gonna freak out.
Hang on a sec. Gotta get the hammer space up. 1d10. Okay. They take out, it's one of Marcel's low sugar cookies.
I'm gonna roll a quick intelligence, see if he recognizes Marcel's cooking. Hold on. 12. He probably goes, oh, that looks similar to what Marcel makes, but he's not eating low sugar cookies from Marcel or anything.
Yeah. No, it's not usually Marcel's thing.
No. No, I mean, given as the first thing Marcel ever gave Chifley was apple turnovers or something like that. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they happily hand one over and say, "Fuel,
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
fuel so you can function."
And he's going to accept it. And
Yay!
he'll eat it so that everyone can see him eating it, because I feel as though they want that satisfaction.
Yeah. They're just gazing
Yep,
at
yep.
him this entire time.
No, he'll eat it, and he'll enjoy it. It's Marcel's cooking, so it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right. Thank you, M1A. It was lovely to meet you.
It is it is good to meet you, Chifley teacher.
That's just, you get that warm little smile from him again. He's just like, ah. And he's going to give a small wave. I'm going to go back to work. But feel free to find us at home whenever you like.
And M1A detaches one arm and just kind of waves back a little bit stiffly because they don't usually do that. But they are going to do that. And oh,
oh no, you first.
and they realize they need to get back to work too.
Before we wrap up real quick, do a perception really quickly for M1A.
Oh, yes. Oh, hang on. Before I do, no, I can't do that. Dang it. Perception. Come on. Oh, come on.
4. You know what? Peck the dice. Do it at advantage.
Okay. I was gonna argue I actually have an item that I'm not wearing right now that I could use for advantage, but
Hey!
oh my god. Is that a nat 20?
Yeah, like the first one was a nat 1, and now it's a nat 20. Thank you, Dice Passer, ending it on a good note. So as Chifley finishes waving and turns around and starts walking away, before M1 goes to do the same, there is this vague sound in the distance. And as soon as they notice it and sort of zero in on it, it's music. And it seems to follow Chifley a little bit before fading into quiet again.
M1A just like watches him go and hears that brief music and and they go, Chifley teacher, Chifley singer, Chifley heard the music. And they turn and they fly away.
No. Ah. Oh, dear idea. That was cute.
Yeah, that was cute. We were heading towards, I think, Ank's territory towards the middle there, but I think we recovered.
Yeah, I'm like, no, let's not go into backstory now. They've known each other for 5 minutes.
Just there's so much that actually lines up that.
Yeah. It's all about those code words, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Thank you for playing with me, Inky. This was fun.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, sounds like we get to do this again sometime.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is gonna that will be fun.
The saga of M1A learning how to play the piano or something. It's
oh my god. Yes.
Alrighty, well thank you for listening everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.